All right, here we go. As I said, you're gonna need to do this completing the square for the rest of the year. It's gonna be important. We get the quadratics. It's a really slick, easy way to get your roots. If there's something that I really hope that you try to study and get this down, is this process right here. You can always use a quadratic formula, negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. But that is a little bit harder than completing the square. Completing the square is pretty easy, except when we have the middle term. That's an odd number, but we're gonna practice some of those, okay? So, you ready for number one? It's already a perfect square on this side, isn't it? Okay? Always x, always that sign, always half of that. And is equal to 20. There was nothing to do with that one. I made that clear when I told you to start this one, didn't I? It was already set up. Now we're ready to take the square root of both sides. You're gonna have x minus 8 equals plus or minus. Remember, we need to simplify radicals if we can. That's 4 times 5, so that's gonna be 2 square roots of 5. Bring the 8 over. It'll become positive, plus or minus 2 square roots of 5. Question?
Why don't you add the 64 on both sides?
Well, I know, it's in there already, I don't need to. I understand why you think that, but this was already a perfect square trinomial. I don't need to add anything. Hence, this one we will. Let's proceed to number 2. So step 1, get x squared. We bring this x over, it's gonna be minus 4x. Bring the 27 over, it's gonna be positive 27. Now, we gotta figure out what we're gonna add right here, and we also need to add it right here. You see the difference? So middle term's 4, right? Half of it is 2, squaring would be 4. So that's what we need to add. See how far you can get now. We're gonna add 4. See if you can factor square root, add 4, add 4.
Is it possible to do the thing to it too?
I have no idea what you're asking.
The thing, like,
Oh,
like
what?
thing.
Now I know.
The radical 2, maybe,
Yeah.
those colors,
Impossible.
is the number that comes out of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually is.
Always x, always that sign, half the middle. What am I getting on this side? 31. Actually, my favorite basketball number. I just think it's a good number. And it
I
has
like
some,
15.
it's got some quickness to it, it's got some savvy to it.
What about 15 or 11?
Without one.
I like 15 or 11. It's a good number. And 16.
Well, you can't have 16 in basketball, so it's okay. X minus 2 equals plus or minus square root of 31, because that is a prime number. There's nothing I can take out of that. Take the 2 over. 2 becomes positive, plus or minus square root of 31. Questions on that one?
So, do you only have to do that if it's not a perfect square?
Only have to do what?
Like how you added 4 on both sides?
Oh yeah, that's right. So the first one was already a perfect square trinomial. I didn't mean to mess anybody up with that one, but it was already a perfect square trinomial. That's why I'd have to do anything to it. So this one wasn't, and I made it, fixed it so it would be. All right, go on to number 3. 2's a little bit, all of them are okay. Set this equal to 0, get your first step. Okay, we'll have x squared plus 6x. Taking this to the other side is going to be equal to positive 7. All of them need to be set up like that. You need to get the x squared and the x and the number on the other side. Leave yourself some space then, because we're going to complete the square on that side. See how far you can get. I'll give you about a minute here, a head start on me. We're just practicing today. Just practice. Talking about practice.
What that number is, you divide that by 2, 6. What's half of 6? 3. And then you square it. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was
Yeah,
36 plus 7, do it right now in your head.
36 plus 7? 43?
Good
We
job.
had class with Joey Marshall.
Yeah.
See that kid?
Yeah. He came back with them.
Middle term 6, half would be 3, squaring would be. So that's when I gotta add to both sides. What did I make here? Perfect, square, trinomial. It always factors to what? Always x, always whatever that sign is, and what? Half of that. What am I getting over here? Well, we like 16, why? Perfect square, keep going.
I don't like it. 4 minus 3, you got 1.
Square root, x plus 3 equals plus or minus 4. X is equal to negative 3 plus or minus 4. Remember yesterday I talked about if you did get this far along with the problem and you end up with whole numbers, you have a perfect square on this side, you're gonna get a whole number. Go ahead and finish it up. So x equals negative 3 plus 4 gives me 1. Negative 3 minus 4 gives me negative 7. So there are your roots, 1 and negative 7. Everybody understand why we could finish that one up? Because we had a perfect square on that side. It wasn't some thing like this. There's nothing I could do with that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't add that because it's 2 squares of 5. Here we had a perfect square of 16, which gave us bad golf shot 4, and we were able to roll with that. Everybody good?
That came because if you.
All right, knock out that last one, number 4. Set it equal to 0. That's gonna be positive 27 when we take it to the other side. Now, this one has another step. What do we gotta do next?
On the blank.
Nope,
Divide by 2.
divide everything by 2, all the way across. Divide everything by 2.
So, and there,
What's 27 Yeah, that's 13 and a half.
better than Michael's.
Obviously, love me very well. What?
Didn't fly too good.
Yeah. Doesn't even look like a 5.
Divide everything by 2, you're gonna get x squared minus 6x equals 27 over 2. That's the only hard part that this one's gonna be when we gotta figure out what to add over there.
Oh, that's.
Middle term 6, half would be what? Squaring it? Okay, so we gotta add 9 to both sides. A perfect square trinomial, you should be able to factor that by now. See if you can add that other side up. If you need to, grab your calculator, put 27 divided by 2, hit enter, add 9, hit enter, and do a fraction on it. I want a fraction, not a decimal.
So if you have to do perfect squares, do you do that before or after you make that problem?
Before. You must do that before you try to do perfect square trinomial.
Alright.
I think this is gonna be 45 over 2. 27 over 2 plus 9 is 45 over 2. Grab your calculator if you need to. 9 would be the same as 18 over 2, right? Is 18 over 2 equal to 9? Yeah, so you're gonna write 18 and 27, give me 45. All right, take the square root, you're gonna have x minus 3 equals plus or minus square root of 45 and the square root of 2. Square root of 45 is gonna be 3 radical 5 over radical 2. I'm out of space. Then we're gonna end up with x minus 3. I'm gonna write it a little bigger so you can see it. 3 radical 5 over the square root of 2. Take the 3 to the other side. It's gonna become positive 3 plus or minus 3 square roots of 5 over the square root of 2. Now, almost done, believe it or not, there is one more thing that the book is expecting you to do, and I would too. That is rationalize. Okay, so that's a little bit extra work because we had a square root in the denominator, so we're gonna end up with 3 plus or minus, that's gonna be 3 square roots of 10 over 2. We really changed the value of the answer, we just rationalized it. We did rationalize it earlier in the year. You should be okay with that. Questions or concerns? We're gonna do one more problem and then I'm gonna have you do about 6 or 7 on your own. Is that clear, everyone? This last problem is is as hard as I'll make them. It's got some funness to it. We're gonna do these 6 up top and you're gonna do 54. We're gonna do 54 together right now. It's an awesome problem.
Are the 6 up top and over?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna do 54 together, so we're gonna end up with 2x squared. Bring the 5x over, it's gonna be minus 5x equals 12. Right? Step 1. Moving on to step 2. Divide everything by 2. So we're gonna end up with x squared minus 5 over 2x. Don't forget to divide this by 2. Okay, now the fun begins. Figure out what I need to add to make a perfect square trinomial. Fractions always make it fun. So what do I need? I need half of the middle term. How do I find what half of 5 over 2 is?
Multiply it by 2.
I don't think so. How
When
about
you divide it by 2, but then it goes up.
Divide by 2, which would be
10 over 2.
2 over 1. Invert and multiply. What do I end up with? 5 over 4.
Where'd you get the 6 from?
You divided by 2.
I divided by 2. So half of my middle is 5 over 4. Do I need to explain that anymore? That's the hard part. Is everybody okay? Look, I had 5 over 2. Divide it by 2, which is the same as the 2 over 1. Invert and multiply. 5 times 1, 2 times 2. Grab your calculator. Grab your calculator. Put 5 divided by 2 in your calculator. Five divided by 2, you get what?
2.5.
Okay, divide it by 2.
Divide that by 2?
Yep.
1.25.
Now try to do a fraction on it.
1 and 1/4. Oh, wait. Oh.
1 and 1/4. What is 1 and 1/4?
That.
5/4. Does that help you? Your calculator can do all that fraction stuff for you. Now we need to square this, of course. What are we gonna have? 25 over 16. So we need to add 25 over 16 here. See how far I can get yet? Again, this is, I've said it already, maybe as tough as I can make them. We got a lot going on. We have a middle term with a fraction. We have some decimals. We need some things to add up. We gotta. Perfect square trinomial. Now, here's where you can figure out if you know what you're doing. Always x, right? Always that sign, and always what? Half of that. Well, what's half of that? We already got it. Remember, we calculated it. It is 5 over 4. That's squared. All right. I need denominator of 16. So I need 6 times 16. Anybody got that number for me? 6 times 16?
96.
96. So this is gonna be 96 over 16 plus 25 over 16, which gives me 121 over 16 on that side. Hey, I like 121 and 16 on that side. How about you? Why do we like 121 and 16? Because they are perfect squares, okay? So we're ready to move on. So I have the square root of this, and I'm taking the square root of that. So I'm gonna have x minus 5 over 4 equals plus or minus, the square root of 121 is 11. Square root of 16 is 4. Bring this over. X equals positive 5 over 4 plus or minus 11 over 4. How are we doing? There is actually one more thing we can do here. I know it sounds a little bit extra. 5 plus 11 gives me what? 16. So 1x is 16 over 4, which is 4, isn't it? What is 5 minus 11 going to give me? Negative 6 over 4, which will simplify to negative 3 over 2. And that's some fun math right there, boys and girls.
You need to get some now.
All right. Head back. And you have 26 through 31 and 55 to knock out. 7 problems. You'll submit on Canvas. Everybody okay?